Hello. What we are going to be talking about in this video is understanding the viewing rectangle of a TI-84. This is in section 1.1 of our textbook. So throughout this course, we're going to be getting familiar with graphing calculators. This video does not require you to actually have a graphing calculator physically with you, so it's okay if you don't. What we're going to be actually looking at today with this video involves just looking at screenshots from a graphing calculator, and we are going to be talking about its window. So in the two figures above, we see two different graphs, and the axes on these graphs are not numbered. This is how we would see it had we had graphed these. So the first one is 4 minus x squared. The second one is the absolute value of x. If we were to have graphed these in a graphing calculator, this is what we would see. So the viewing rectangle or the viewing window is what we call those things. And they are demonstrated as negative 10, 10, 1 by negative 10, 10, 1. This is called the standard viewing rectangle. So what exactly is that? Well, when you have the first set of brackets, those are representing the x values. So notice that starts with a negative number. That is our minimum value for x. And then the middle number is the maximum value for x. So notice that the third number here tells us the distance that each tick mark represents. So if you're looking at the graphs above, you will see that there are 10 tick marks on the left and the right side of the y-axis. And so once again, that's because negative 10 is the lowest value on the x-axis, 10 is the biggest number on the x-axis, and each of those tick marks are going up by 1. The second set of brackets are the same exact thing, except now we're representing the y-axis. So once again, there's 10 tick marks above and below the x-axis there. So negative 10 is the minimum value of the y on the y-axis, 10's the maximum value, and once again, the tick marks are going up by 1. So what we're going to be looking at first is just looking at an example where I already have numbers plugged in for the tick marks, but we are going to write out what these dimensions are in these bracket forms, because that's what you are in the end going to be doing on any type of like homework, quiz, or test. So as we can see, once again, remember this first set of brackets, this is represented by the x-axis. Okay, so looking at the x-axis, notice that we start going from left to right. Negative 2 is the smallest number, and so that's my minimum value. Looking over to the far right, 3 is my highest number, so that's my maximum x value. Notice that each of these tick marks are going up by a half, so that's that third number in the bracket. Okay, notice that then the second set of brackets, we are representing our y-axis values. So once again, we start with the minimum value on the y-axis, that's negative 10. Notice that the highest number up here is 20, and notice that the tick marks are going up by 5s. So these would be the dimensions of the viewing rectangle in this particular figure. Now, I gave you numbers on that picture. That's not what you're going to have. These are the types of problems that you are actually going to have on any future homework, quiz, or test. So directions are still the same. What are the possible dimensions of the viewing rectangle for the following TI-84 image? Notice because I don't give you any numbers in that screenshot, I do give you a hint as far as one number in each of those brackets. So in our x values, notice that I am giving you your minimum value of negative 15. So notice that if I'm looking at the left side of my x-axis, I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks. So if my last number has to be negative 15 and there's 5 of them, I must be going up and down by 3s. So if you then count to the right-hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 5 tick marks. And if I have to go up by 3s, that means that the maximum x value has to be 15. Notice that in the second set, once again, is the y values from the y-axis. I'm giving you the maximum. So I'm giving you that at the very top of that is 10. So notice if I count the tick values, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 ticks. And so that means we must be going up by 2s. So if I count going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 tick marks again. So that means my minimum value must be negative 10. Last example, another one where once again, I'm not giving you numbers. We want to find the possible dimensions of the viewing rectangle. And with the X values, this time I'm giving you the maximum. Notice that on the right-hand side, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tick marks. And if there's 8 of them and it has to go up to 40, that must mean that we are counting up by fives. So count 5 to the left. There's 2 different tick marks. And so that means that the minimum value must be negative 10. My y-axis, I'm giving you the minimum value of negative 12. Notice that there are 3 tick marks, so that must mean that I'm going up and down by 4s. And so if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tick marks going up on the y-axis, 7 times 4 means that we are heading up to a positive 28. So this is my dimension for the viewing rectangle. So what I want you to do just to practice this is on page 91, doing problems 29 through 32. If you have any questions, please make sure that you address them with me the next day or send me a Schoology message.